All right, PJ, I got a question for you.
All right. What is the question you got for me today?
All right, so what's the difference between Giannis in the 2021 Finals Game 6 and us on the Hooper Soul podcast?
You got 50. Oh, are you sure it's different or similar?
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
There's a
Well, I
difference.
know that. Be honest, did he get 50 or 51 points?
He not 49, not 51. He got 50.
He got 50. Ooh,
The,
we just went
uh,
up and then we
for us right now, we are at 53 subscribers.
53.
53 for the Hooper Soul podcast. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. Halfway to 100. That's crazy. So now that we
I
hit
need to,
50, we're
I
on
need
the
to get a
road.
drink for that. My bad if I interrupted you.
You're good. We should drink to that. That'll be another episode. But again, thank you guys so much. We appreciate all the support. Appreciate y'all sticking around. Thank you so much. Wherever you found us, if you know us in real life, if you found us through one of our other videos, we appreciate you. Thank you. And we'll keep doing our thing. But with that out the way, let's get on with the next episode. We took a little break because it's off season. We got other stuff going on in our lives, but we're back. And of course, we're here to talk about the rest of the free agency moves that we did not get to because we only talked about the big names. But now it's time to talk about every team and their off season. We're going to start it off not from the top. We're starting from the bottom. The first team we got the Washington Wizards.
Okay.
So I know I have it pulled up for you. I'll pull it up for the people. But which of these moves for the Wizards really is the one for you? Which one do you want to talk about?
For the Wizards, what's your biggest pickup? Maybe Malcolm Brogdon.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
I was thinking about Jonas, but then I was like, not really. But Malcolm Brogdon, 100% is a W pickup. Yeah, you traded Denny, one of your
Mm-hmm.
young guys that hopefully was a future guy for your team. But Malcolm is the one.
Yeah. I do want to bring up Jonas because, and I haven't been watching all the summer league games, but if for anybody that has been paying attention to NBA media or summer league media, Alex Sarr, number 2 overall pick, is playing very poorly right now, especially for a number 2 overall standards. So,
Super.
and I've heard that part of the problem is that he has said that he wants to play the 4. I thought that just meant he wanted another big man next to him so he didn't have to do all the dirty work. Apparently he's trying to play like a wing, which is definitely not a good idea for him. He's definitely not built for that. But apparently that's what he's trying to play, and that's why he's shooting like 0 for 6 from 3 in the summer league. It's like that's not your game. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping I'm hoping the Jonas Valanciunas pickup isn't so that he can keep doing this in the regular season. I'm hoping this is just, he's traditional center big man next to Sar, and Sar doesn't play on the perimeter. But that being said, no, I really have no expectations for the Wizards anyways. So, you
I
know,
think I think that like if you're planning on playing the 4, you got to look at film on AD on the Pelicans when he was playing with Boogie. That's the only way it can work out for Sar if he wants to play the 4 like that. If you're
mm,
trying to play the 4 and you're trying to play like KD, it's not working out for you, buddy. Like if you did do that in France, it's not the same here in the NBA. The
I,
rules are definitely different.
I was thinking, I don't think he did that in France either, though. Like,
Um,
I don't know why he's like, I don't remember. Like, I didn't watch too much of his tape, but from what I saw, he definitely wasn't taking that many threes a game. I don't think. I could be mistaken, but I don't remember him doing what he's doing now in the
I think
France league.
I think bro needs to stop watching Wemby and Ball his life
That might
clips.
be it. I mean
Yeah,
that really might be it. I don't know, because he wants to. He's France, and he's big guy, high draft
come
pick. I don't
on.
know.
I don't want to watch the Washington Wizards if that ever comes up on my radar. Where it's like you'll see Jordan Poole pulling up all these shots, and then you're gonna see Alex Sarr looking at him. He's like, "Oh, I could do that too," and he's gonna be shooting bricks out
I
there
could do it
building
too.
houses.
I
I
could do
mean,
it
it
too.
like you're the number 2 pick, projected to be number 1, like I said earlier, and you have this kid that obviously, because the media is so big on his name, Bronny James, he's not looking great out there, but he's looking better than you are. So I don't know. I don't know what to say, man.
Bronny started having some good games actually.
He started
He
having
had one
some.
or two. He had
He
one
had
or
a
two.
he had a bad start for like giving out
Yeah,
points, but
yeah,
his defense is there. Like I like how he's playing right now.
yeah. Well, for Alex Sarr, hopefully, maybe I don't know. Maybe Bub Carrington. I know Bub Carrington's been good, so
Heard.
so hey, they have that going for him. It's just every time we talk about the Wizards, they're just getting just shitting on them. But I mean, what do you want? What do you want from us, man? It's the Wizards. Sorry.
So Wizards, yeah.
Utah Jazz, they didn't really do much in free agency. It's the only people they added. They re-signed Johnny Juice. Shout out Johnny Juice. Hey, AAPI, that's my goat. Shout out to
Let's
Johnny.
go.
And then they signed Drew Eubanks, and like that's literally it. So like, there's nothing really to talk about here. I mean, if you want to talk about
Wait,
their draft
how did
picks,
they get Westbrook?
he, how did it happen? I think he got traded
I thought it
there.
was.
He got traded there, and then they waived him immediately. I don't remember what
Oh,
the trade was exactly. Um,
I thought
but
the trade was going
oh, it
to
was
the
Chris Dunn.
Nuggets.
It was Chris Dunn.
I thought it was like a 3-way trade to the Nuggets.
No, it was a Chris Dunn sign and trade. So Chris Dunn left this team to go to the Clippers, and the Clippers sent back Russ, and then they just immediately waived him, so that he became a
Okay,
free agent, and then signed to the Nuggets.
got you. I know. I know the Clippers is going to be coming up later,
Yeah.
but Chris picking up Chris Dunn to the Clippers is the W pickup for a second string guard.
Mm-hmm.
The Jazz, like the Wizards. I mean, I'll check you guys out. I like Laurie. I'll check you guys out in the regular season, but like the Wizards, I think you guys are in the bottom.
Yeah,
Respectfully,
especially in the West,
one of the
but
teams in the bottom.
especially in the
Yeah.
West. But the one thing I do want to talk about, because we already talked about their rookies in our draft video. If you haven't watched, go ahead check that out. It's just a fun little watch. But what was I gonna say? Oh, Danny Ainge. Apparently, he's being super stingy with Laurie Markkinen. Like,
100%.
he's been talking. I think like Bob Myers was like sending shots at Danny Ainge, just being like, this guy's being unreasonable as hell about this trade. So I don't foresee Laurie getting traded. I don't know how desperate a team would have to be, especially knowing Danny Ainge's reputation after he's fleeced and made a lot of great trades with people. Like, he's trying to fleece you. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, I don't see Laurie Markkinen getting traded unless a team really does feel like they can win immediately. Then I could see them maybe giving up all their first round picks. But I think Laurie's stuck in Utah. So
I feel like Laurie's stuck in Utah till he wants to get out. Like free agency, he's like,
yeah, he might just have to
yeah,
leave.
Utah, yeah. He has to leave.
Yeah.
That's his only way out. Like Jordan Clarkson and all these other guys, that's the only way out.
Yeah.
If Danny Ainge really likes you that bad, he's not. You're on cuffs, my boy. You're locked in with Danny Ainge. If they show it on the TV while I'm at work, then I guess I'm watching you guys.
May as well. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I really have nothing else to say about the Jazz. I feel like, like I said, we said enough
Let's
in
get
our
out
other
of Utah.
videos. We don't want
Utah's
to be in Utah
weird.
anyways. Our next team, we have the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors have been doing some work this offseason. I didn't even know all these. I didn't remember all these things, but main things they have
Wow.
here: re-signed Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, who we were worried was going to leave. He comes back on a 5-year. Garrett Temple
Nice.
is back on a 1-year. They traded for Davion Mitchell, and I don't know who the other guy is. I'll be honest with you. Then they got rid of. Well, they didn't get rid of, but we'll get to those guys eventually. But for the Raptors, which of these moves are you feeling?
I know that a lot of potential from this player hasn't been brought out yet, but definitely Davion Mitchell. Like his brother, I feel like he's a dog on the court. And Emmanuel quickly, honestly, is a surprise to me though.
Hmm.
To return for a 5-year deal is crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, we kept all our mock drafts was them getting getting guards because we thought quickly might be leaving, and then he comes back anyways. So we're like, okay, well, never mind then. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I also like Davion Mitchell. I think that is a good get, especially trading away Jalen McDaniels, who, you know,
Well,
he
Jalen McDaniels is not like his brother.
he's got some let's just say he's got a weird case. Let's put it that way. He's got a weird case. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go too, we're not gonna talk about that. But anyways, I'm excited to see Scotty Barnes' future. Big fan. But that's all I really got for them. We're not trying to stay in Toronto either. All right. This is a fun one. San Antonio Spurs. They didn't really re-sign anybody important, but they added three pretty important players. They added Harrison Barnes in a trade, Chris Paul, and then they drafted Stephon Castle. Lots of options here, PJ, for you to pick one. Some very interesting ones. Which one's your favorite?
I think it's Chris Paul for sure. I feel like Harrison Barnes was another surprising one, just because it's Harrison Barnes. But if Harrison Barnes plays like 2015 Warriors with the Spurs, I feel like the Spurs team could come up and rise up to be one of the surprising teams to be in a certain spot in the West.
A certain spot.
I don't wanna say, oh, they're a top 14, top 8 play-in team, but they could potentially be a surprising certain spot in the West for us.
I I think that Harrison Barnes is just Harrison Barnes. I think he is who he is. I'm not
I hope he
expecting
doesn't.
I'm not
Yeah,
expecting anything exceptional. If he can just be a floor spacer for Wemby, cool. Play good to serviceable defense, cool. You're doing great. That's all you really need to do. You're no one's expecting him to perform on a playoff team or anything. Like he's just, he's another guy that isn't terrible that can be on the court, and that's like for a team that is more than likely gonna miss the playoffs. I feel like more than likely the odds are not in their favor. Then that's
the odds
fine.
are not in their favor for
That's
sure, but
fine.
I feel like they could be a surprise to us in the future.
Oh yeah, in the future. I mean
That's why
next
I'm not
year,
like,
like next, like
yeah,
next year, like like they might already be in that conversation. But
maybe. Who knows?
for
That's
now
why
though,
it's like it might be a surprise. It might not be.
hmm
This team is still tremendously young.
yeah. I mean
So I
it's
mean, the only oldest person you got is Chris Paul and Pop. But like,
yeah. That's what for these teams that really have no expectations. I'm kind of just like I'm just excited to see what happens with them. Like you know. But I agree with you. I think I already said this before, but Chris Paul, I absolutely love this. I think we read the comments, we respond to all the ones that we see, and I was responding to a comment, and he was saying that he loves the Stephon Castle pick for the Spurs, and I was like, I agree, it's a great pick, and
100%.
I also love how Chris Paul can help both Wemby and Castle develop
Their
because
game.
yeah, so because obviously Chris Paul is playing point guard, Stephon Castle is supposed to be the point guard of the future, and then he can teach Wemby about the game. Just generally speaking, just like hey, if you're playing center and then your guard is here and your wing's here, you got to be positioned here, that kind of thing. And he has done that for Clint Capella. He has gone on record and said that, so I know it's possible. So
100%.
even outside of Chris Paul, a lot of the their other draft picks like Castle and even their second rounder Harrison Ingram, I think is his name. They're playmakers, so they know that last year was a little bit of a mess because no one could get Wemby the ball properly. Well, I would say no one, but it was
Don't they
definitely an
have another
issue.
playmaker that they picked up?
Um,
That Spanish guy,
yeah,
right?
Juan Nunez, other second rounder.
Okay.
Yeah, that
I
was his
just
name.
wanted to bring him up. Another
Juan.
guy he
Shout
could
out to
teach.
Juan. Shout out to Juan. But yeah,
Shout out to Juan.
so just a little reminder: the Spurs are good at being good at running their team. So I'm excited for their future. Next team, the Sacramento Kings. Malik Monk has come back, and another person that has come back, good old DeMar DeRozan, back to the West Coast.
Back to the West Coast,
We
baby.
we kind of had a whole video on this already.
Not
Like,
like us.
yeah, if you have not watched the video where we talked all about DeMar DeRozan and the Kings, you can watch that one. It'll be in the description. It'll probably be in like the card up there, wherever. I don't know, PG. You got anything else to say about this team?
I guess Malik Monk returning was a W. Getting DeMar DeRozan as another scorer on the court because you're replacing that weird Harrison Barnes guy. Um,
Bro hates Harrison Barnes.
is he was terrible on the Kings. I don't understand why the Kings always kept him.
The short of it, DeMar DeRozan is an awesome pickup for them. It's an awesome trade.
Replacement for
Or
Harrison
signing.
Barnes.
It's fun. I'm with it. Not expecting a championship, but I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, to give him a couple years.
But moving on. The Portland Trailblazers, they re-signed nobody. However, they added Denny Avdija from the Wizards from the trade we talked about earlier, and they drafted Donovan Clingan. Yeah, I mean I don't really have anything else to say about them.
I mean, can I pull up the team real quick? I swear they have a shit ton of players.
Well, yes, that's usually what happens. I feel like it's a normal amount, especially.
I'm surprised Jeremy Grant hasn't gotten traded yet.
Hey man, it's too early. Teams got to see who's fiending for him. They could definitely get way more later mid-season than right now.
This is definitely okay. Here, this is what I'm gonna say. This is definitely another team that maybe I might be excited to see. I know that their projections never gonna be higher than the Spurs, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be way better than the Wizards or the Jazz.
Okay.
No, actually, the Jazz. The Jazz. I'm gonna say the Jazz
Okay.
for sure.
Sure. Okay. I mean, like I said, I don't really have much to say about this team. I just want to see Scoot Henderson develop. That's really all I have to say. Denny Avdija is a great pickup for them in my eyes. I think the trade is good because they did need a wing, and they addressed that issue. So good for them. And that's really all I have to say. They got their work cut out for them over there. But speaking of another team in the West, the Phoenix Suns, they did some work. Apparently they re-signed 4 people, all 4 of these people. They also got Monte Morris, and they replaced Drew Eubanks with Mason Plumlee. How do you feel about this?
Kind of like that. I like Mason Plumlee.
Okay.
Just to get it started out there.
On the record.
On the record, because when he played with the Hornets, he was smoking your team.
Sure.
And not just only him, but
Sure.
I remember he was shooting a shitload of free throws in the first quarter against your team. And
Sure,
the rest of the game, the Bucks are like, I don't care about this game anymore. We're already done by 30 points.
Yeah, I mean, I barely remember any regular season games, so sure, I believe you. I just don't. I have no ill will towards Mason Plumlee. I don't remember this happening, so I believe you.
I like the additions that they got. Mason Plumlee, W pickup. They need a solid backup center. He's a good starter. But as center, it's a W pickup. I know that Bull was working out with Chet and KD. If he brings that to the court, I will be blessed and happy. And I'll be happy for Caleb and Brandon because this guy needed to show up.
Shout out to Caleb and Brandon.
Josh Okogie, another good pickup. He's, I think, young. I believe he's young. He played places. Royce O'Neal is a W pickup.
He might be relatively young on this team.
Yeah, I'm happy he left the Nets. The Nets ain't going anywhere.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it's W pickups. Like it's better than last year's team, 100%.
A little bit. It's definitely
if they
better.
Play hard enough, it's better.
It's definitely an upgrade over Drew Eubanks. That's for sure. I'll give him that.
True.
That's definitely better than Drew Eubanks. So
yeah,
hey, we'll have a whole other thing talking about the Suns, our predictions on the Suns, but I will leave it at.
We need our Suns guys to talk about their team. We need them.
They hit them up.
We'll set up Brandon and Caleb. We'll have them A
Yeah,
Sun special. We'll try to get a Sun special
that'd
one
be
day.
crazy. But yeah, Mason Plumlee, definitely my favorite pickup. Hey, just want to let you guys know real quick, this is part 1 of this video. We talk about 15 of the teams, starting from the Wizards, going up to the Miami Heat. Part 2 of this video is going to have the rest of the teams, so be on the lookout for that. Subscribe for that. But yeah, hope you enjoy. Okay, well, we kind of made
Huge.
a video about this team already. Well, about one of the pickups for this team, Philadelphia 76ers. Obviously, they got Paul George. Nothing else needs to be said. If you want to hear what we said, there's a video for that. Go check it out up there on the YouTube card. But brought back Kyle Lowry, brought back Kelly Oubre, Maxey signed an extension, and then they also got Andre Drummond, Eric Gordon, and Caleb Martin. So
I think
outside
that's the one that's surprising me the most.
Caleb,
Caleb Martin. I'm surprised that he didn't want to resign with the Heat, but he chose to go to Philly.
I also wonder why. Like I didn't keep up with anything. Like I didn't see.
I know he had said something. There was a quote online that he had said something, but I will go back on that and I'll just type in the comments later.
Yeah, like I don't know what the Heat were offering. I don't know if how much it, like, you know. I don't know if he felt. I don't know if he. I don't know if this is a money move for him or a win move for him. If he feels that the Sixers will be just a lot better than the Heat, but it is definitely an interesting pickup. My favorite thing they did, I think, just re-signing Kelly Oubre. I think Kelly Oubre was a 6 starter for them, and I think him being the 2 next to Maxey and Paul George, that's kind of fire. Like I'm with it. Like I like
It is
this.
fired.
So I'm an Oubre fan. He's a fun guy. They got him on a 2-year deal, so it's, he's not locked up. So if he shows out for a couple years, he can get a bag if he wants. So
He could get a bag. He was playing good like the beginning of the regular season, but then he got that car accident.
oh right.
And I mean he's better now, and I hope he does some shit again. That's nice. I like KJ Martin. He's a good young guy on this team. And another surprising one to me is picking up Andre Drummond again after that one season stint.
He's back.
I believe that they saw a lot of good games when he was on the Bulls, when he was picking up those boards like he was on the Pistons. So yeah, it's a W pickup. All this whole re-signing, this whole additions, W's. I think Paul Reed being waived was like another good one for him because like he didn't get to show so much on the court because you have Joel. But I mean, it is what it is. I wish he did play more in the playoffs, but they had Batum at center for some reason.
If you want to hear more about the Sixers, check the video out. But we're gonna keep it pushing. Next up, this is a very interesting team, the Orlando Magic. They ended up adding Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to a 3-year deal, and Corey Joseph. I didn't know about Corey Joseph, honestly. I only knew about KCP. Then they re-signed a bunch of people, including both of the Wagners, Jonathan Isaac, to a 5-year. Wow.
Yeah.
They got Goga back and Gary Harris.
I feel like Jonathan Isaac for 5 years kind of like a bit too much. I think they're expecting him to be fully healthy for the next 5 years, when he was injured for like 3. But they're expecting him to be like a Joel Embiid comeback, where he was gone for 3 years and come back and be this guy that the Magic expected him to be. But he's pretty good. I like him. The what did I call him in that PJ video?
I don't know.
Oh, he was a minister of defense for his.
But let's talk about obviously the big free agency guy they got, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. You know him, 3-and-D veteran, perfect role player next to your ball dominant players. He's a veteran through and through. Obviously a key part of the Nuggets winning a chip, key part of the Lakers winning a chip, and just a great addition because they just needed less guys that needed the ball all the time. So, good job. I like the pick a lot.
Just to come back from what I said. His nickname is Judah and Minister of Defense. So,
Okay, well, I'll never call him that, but I believe you.
yeah. If they start saying it again, I might call him that.
I'm not calling him that. But yeah, Magic, they surprised us last year. They got a nice new guard pickup. This team might still make some trades later on. We'll have to see. But I do like the direction they're going. I'm a fan of this team. Also, I believe they drafted Tristan Da Silva, the 3-and-D wing. I think he had a good summer league, so shout out to him. This is definitely one of the fun young teams, and I'm glad they're in the East. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Top 8 team for sure.
we'll get to see them in the playoffs again. And, they might, if they play the Magic again, or the Cavs again, they might win this time. So, we'll have to see. But we'll leave all the predictions to a later video. Next team we got, the big bad of the West, Oklahoma City Thunder. They made quite a few moves. We've talked about some of them before. We already talked about Caruso going to, or being traded to the Thunder. We talked about all their all their draft picks in our draft video. The big one we have yet to touch on, and it is a big one, 'cause he's a big guy. Isaiah Hartenstein, a 3-year deal. What does this do for this team, PJ?
I'm pretty sure they're gonna still run like a similar lineup to last year, but I know that they will try Isaiah Hartenstein and what's his name, Chet Holmgren as a duo down low.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a huge pickup for the Thunder since they were lacking on rebounds.
Yeah.
This is the guy you need. He's not gonna space the floor. He could learn it, but he's not gonna space the floor like they were last year. But I'm pretty sure, like with his mentality and the mindset that he has for every game that he plays, it will make the Thunder even better than it was last year. Because you got Cruz on the floor too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just W pickups from here and W drop offs from there.
Yeah, and Sam Presti, the GM, he pretty much had a press conference after the season where he was just like, "Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to see what the team could do with what they had. So, like, he knew they had a rebounding problem. He knew they had a size problem. He was like, let's just see what happens." So then he was like, all right, well, they lost because of rebounding and size. So you know what? We're gonna fix that. So he fixed it. Like, cool. Like he's doing the thing. Like that's.
Bro, he's such a good GM, drafting all
Yeah,
these guys.
He's doing his thing, man.
It's,
For sure.
Shout out to him. He's a great GM.
Yeah. And to talk
He
about,
could be an all-time great in the future.
yeah, and talk about Isaiah Hartenstein. You already mentioned it. They could play him next to Chet, but I think just the ability to just have that guy in general, to just be like, oh shoot, we're getting bodied on the boards, throw in another big man. Now they can actually do that. So
Yeah, he will have more time too, since like with the Knicks they have Mitchell Robinson and Randall. He'll have more time with his team too, since he's there for his needed shit. I couldn't find the word for it. His needed for the rebounding,
yeah.
for being the center.
He is also a good passer for the center position, so he can be used in different ways on offense. He's not just a rebounder and a defender. Like he has some skills to him. He has a little floater that looks really funny and it like pisses off the other team when it goes in. But it just looks funny. But it's a great pickup. It's a great pickup. It's literally like, the fan wish list for the Thunder. It was like number 1, Isaiah Hartenstein, number 2, Isaiah Hartenstein, number 3, and it's just like it's pretty clear everyone wanted this guy, and for good reason. So, them doing that is perfect. Great GM job, and I'm really, really, really excited to see how far the Thunder can go now. Now that they're addressing their issues from last year when they were already the first seed. Awesome. I'm excited. All right, next team. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
The good old New York Knicks re-signed OG Anunoby, re-signed Jalen Brunson, traded for Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets, and they added Cameron Payne. Well, PJ, where do we start? I mean, I feel like
Didn't Jalen Brunson, apparently he could have had more money, but he chose to have a smaller, not a small contract,
No, it
but
was.
a smaller
I believe he
endorsement.
lost at near, if not more than, $100 million of total value compared to what he could have gone on a max 5 year. I
I
believe.
well, I know that he mentioned it just so they could pick up more guys on the team, like Mikal Bridges,
Mm-hmm.
which was a W pickup to not complete, but to enclose. This is the Villanova team.
Mm-hmm.
These are the guys that have chemistry within each other. Like it sucks that they they lost the old Bojan Bogdanovic. I mean, Alec Burks was doing his thing in the
Alec
playoffs.
Bergs.
I mean, he lost
He
the
had a
guy we
couple
just
good
talked
games
about.
actually.
He did. He did. He
It's kind of
had.
funny, but yeah,
But
he should not have been. He's not the guy you want to rely on.
yeah, you lost Isaiah Hardenstein.
That is big, but you know, Jalen Brunson. I've been advocating and singing the praises of him since our first episode when we were talking about what guy we wanted next to Luca. I was like, bring Jalen Brunson back, but obviously that's not happening. But hey,
100% not
and
happening.
him taking a pay cut, it just shows me he's really about it. He's really trying to win. So hey, if they win the championship because he took that pay cut, they're building a statue. They building a statue. So
Yeah,
shout out to Jalen Brunson, man. Excited for the Knicks. But that's all I got for them. Next team, they re-signed nobody really. New Orleans Pelicans. They didn't re-sign anybody, but they obviously added a pretty big name this offseason.
Daniel Dice. Yeah,
Daniel Tice on a 1 year deal, replacing both Larry Nance Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, and Cody Zeller. Wait, they have no
what
big
the
men.
heck?
They have no big men. I mean, I knew that was an issue for them, and I know they drafted Yves Missy, who is a center, but they're they're thin down there, bro. That's they might still have to trade for somebody because
100%.
their big
CJ
men.
McCollum, you're on the board.
Their big men are Daniel Tice, Yves Missy, and then if you want to count him Zion, he's a big man, but he's not, I don't know if he's like a big man. I don't know. It depends on your definition. But anyways, of course, we've already talked about it in our video. But DeJounte Murray traded to the Pelicans. Do you have any new thoughts since those days? Those
I
first
think
days.
my thought process still stays the same. I mean, the departures. Looking at it now,
It's kind of
they
crazy.
were. It's crazy because they were a playing team last year. I think seventh seed,
Yeah.
and now they're dropping. I think they're dropping in value from that playing spot.
They're like
In my
-4
mind,
players. They're minus
minus
4.
four big men.
Well, they at least they added one, but like they're just
I
missing
like
4
Daniel.
players from last year.
See, I like Daniel Dice, but it's just like, and Eves Missy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like I do like the John also being on his team, but I feel like there's gonna be some X factors. You gotta hopefully in the season. I know CJ likes it in the Pelicans, but I think you gotta move CJ for another valuable player to play with them.
I
Maybe
would.
not so valuable enough where it's like I forgot Brandon Ingram is on this team.
Yeah.
Maybe not a huge player like a Booker guy or like somebody. I'm trying to figure out a name to say it, but I feel like they really need to find a new piece for this team. Maybe another point guard or young guy on this team
I
with some
definitely
picks.
would prefer they trade CJ than Brandon Ingram. I've never enjoyed CJ McCollum's playoff performances, but for now, we keep it moving.
Or a team
Minnesota
like
Timberwolves, incredible re-signing. Luke Garza, 2 years. We're we're partying. They also added PJ Dozier and Joe Ingles to
I think
replace
Douglas is a W pickup.
replacing Kyle Anderson and Monte Morris and all those other guys.
Yeah.
And then they also have Rob Dillingham coming in from the draft. How are you feeling about these
Oh yeah,
pickups?
that's right. They
Yeah.
do got Rob Dillingham coming back.
Yep.
You still have Mike. You still have, of course, you have Cat and Rudy Gobert, which
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I want to speak about Rudy Gobert. I know this is not
Okay.
uh this is not the Olympic podcast yet or episode yet, but Rudy Gobert is playing different for France. I see him doing some Euro steps. He's passing it like here and there. He's playing like a point guard at 7'2".
Hey.
Um, hey, if he translates that to the NBA, I might bring back my prediction of Rudy Gobert being a top 4 center in the game.
I wouldn't bet on it, but it would be really wild to see.
It'd be sick to see in the game if I see him doing a Euro and then swinging it out to Cat on the 3 or something.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, Rudy, I'm gonna stop hating on you.
I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it in the NBA. But
That's true.
I'm sure he's just trying to have fun out there. Like it's the
100%.
Olympics, bro. Like let's have some fun.
He's free.
Yeah. Nothing's really on the line. Like we're playing for pride. Like it's whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, back to free agency signings. Like Joe Ingles is for sure a W pickup because you guys, I know Jaden McDaniels. He has a tricky jump shot, but I know Joe Ingles is older.
Yeah.
He's for sure gonna sit in the corner and do some PJ Washington things like he did in the playoffs.
I'm excited for Rob Dillingham. I really hope
Oh,
I really hope he's going to be playable in the playoffs. I hope that he won't get targeted too badly on defense cuz I do want to watch him play. But yeah. I don't really have much else to say about the Timberwolves. Got to keep it pushing. Milwaukee Bucks, they have added 3 people
They got Terry on.
for the minimum, all of them for the minimum, because they are over the second apron, which means they can only offer minimums. Taurean Prince, DeLon Wright, and Gary Trent Jr. As far as the cap space situation for the Bucks, this was, I think, like literally the best they could have possibly done. Like legitimately, like I don't think for a minimum, like who else would you really be able to get? So, and all 3 guys should be like heavy rotation players. So, hey, to me, all of these are W's.
These are all W's for the minimum. There's no bad pickups from here.
Yeah.
Taurean Prince, he did pretty good with the Lakers. Gary Trent, he's another good guy to pick up, and then DeLon Wright. Come on, bro, like. You can't go bad with these like minimum pickups, and the Bucks did it.
So yeah,
I don't think the Lakers even. Well, I mean, we'll get to them in a little bit, but from seeing this pickup from like Lakers picks in years before, this is the best minimum pickups you've ever seen.
Yeah, and
In
the way I see it, Gary Trent Jr. is replacing Malik Beasley. DeLon Wright is replacing Patrick Beverley. And Taurean Prince is replacing like Jay Crowder. Like it really can't get worse. like I feel like it would take something drastic for these 3 bench players, or well, they're not all bench players, but these 3 players to be worse than the people they're replacing. I feel like they're all just better than those guys. So, I'm excited. I am still worried about the backup big man or just the big man position in general, but they did draft Tyler Smith. He could be something. Andre Johnson, is that his name? I think it's Andre Johnson. The first round rookie, I think he's doing well in summer league actually. So if he becomes a rotational piece, that'll be exciting. Yeah, as a Bucks fan, I'm happy. This is as good as it gets, really.
100%.
All right. Next team, Miami Heat. They honestly haven't done much. They re-signed Bam, Thomas Bryant, Haywood Highsmith, and Kevin Love. Then they added Alec Burks. And then Caleb Martin left. And that's really all they did. I feel like the most important thing to talk about with them is just they drafted Khalil Ware. And he was first team all summer league, so shout out to him. He's one of the guys that I thought should have or could have gone in the lottery. He went just outside of it, and I hope that he can play well next to Bam, or at least back him up. He'll at least back him up for sure. But
2%.
those two together, I feel like it'd be cool, especially if
It'd be
Khalil Ware's
nice.
shot gets consistent. But yeah, do you have any thoughts on on what the Miami Heat did? There's not much to say.
I mean, I didn't even know that Thomas Bryant was there. I thought he was on a different team.
I don't know. It's Thomas Bryant.
But I mean, picking up Alec Burks and losing Caleb Martin, I think that's a W pickup.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching. Like I said at the beginning, we were only going to do half of the teams in this episode. The next episode should be coming out tomorrow. It's going to have the rest of the teams. So if we didn't get to your team, we'll get to them in the next video. So stay tuned for that. Thank you again. Thank you for 50 subscribers again. And we'll see you soon. Peace.